let's go to this. The 49ers, they locked up Armstead to that 5-year, $85 million deal. You're watching NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Our top free agents left on the board.
The full details beyond just 5 for 85 isn't fully available right now. That is noteworthy. It's the exact same deal the 49ers gave D Ford. Now, what you might see is there are some incentives in there. We'll see what the guaranteed money ends up looking at. There actually wasn't that much guaranteed for D Ford. It also allows the Niners to get creative in their cap structuring going forward. But I do like this move for San Francisco. I know it's expensive, but, I mean, you can look at other players who got $17 million a year. Cam Jordan, Yannick is going to get a little bit more potentially. Fletcher Cox, D Ford, Grady Jarrett, Olivier Vernon. So there have been players who got this amount. I think Trey Flowers got more than that. I might prefer Trey Flowers or prefer Armstead compared to Trey Flowers. So I know it's expensive. The Niners can make it work. They're going to find a way to get George Kittle done as well. See about Emmanuel Sanders. But I think this is a good deal here for San Francisco in terms of getting one of their key cogs on that dynamite defensive line. It's staying, and you shouldn't anticipate regression as Armstead finally had the breakout year he'd been waiting for.
I get that he had a breakout year, but I still will say that I think he had a little bit of a breakout year just due to that defensive line and the addition of Bosa. I don't want to take anything away from Armstead. He is a great player. There is no doubt about that. But I am not putting him up in the category of a player like a Frank Clark, of a D Ford. Yes, I understand the cap space or whatever it raised, but for me, Armstead's not there. He's a young player, 26. The 49ers are doing the right things on that defensive line. I get that they went to the Super Bowl, but you don't think that they overpaid him just by a little?
Yes and no. Like, yes, you probably overpaid, but you also have to approach it in this way. The cap's going to keep going up. And, yeah, I know $17 million. There's a lot of sticker shock involved there. It's the same deal you gave D Ford. You have the money available. Keeping your own guys, look, if you overpay a little bit, I can live with it. Yeah. I can live with that to keep a player who had a really good year for you. Now, I want to see how it's structured. Don't get me wrong. That's important. If you're locked into him for 4 years, okay, we're going to have a discussion on that one. I suspect, based on the way they did that D Ford deal, I suspect the APY might be high. The guaranteed might be lower, and you might be able to manipulate it a little bit and potentially get out if you need to.
Whew, takes a breath. All right, grade the Arik Armstead contract A, B, C, D, or F. I'm not going to give it a D or F because Armstead is obviously a great player, but I do think that they overpaid for him a little bit, so I'm going to type C. I think it's an average deal.
I do want to see the structure, and I will fire off the hip a little bit, but I think this might be more of a B. In the way that I think it's going to end up being structured, I think this might end up being a pretty good deal for San Francisco, and we'll see what other players end up getting. But I think in the end, this will be a fine deal for San Francisco. If you want to give it a C, I'm on board with that too. I get where you're coming from. I'll be, I guess, a little bit more optimistic here for San Francisco in terms of the way this ends up working out. But I do like this deal for San Francisco and for Arik Armstead if it's structured the way I think it's going to be structured in the end.